Nigeria's Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Ekperikpe Ekpo, has inaugurated a 5.2 million standard cubic feet per day compressed natural gas and auto gas stations in Lagos. The inauguration ceremony, which was themed From Gas to Prosperity, CNG for All, was held in Lagos State. The building of the facility was done by Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC Limited, and Transit Gas Nigeria Limited, a subsidiary of Axela. The CNG station is expected to fill about 3,700 cars or 600 trucks and buses per day. During the inauguration, Ekpo stated that the event is in line with President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, and it signifies a huge milestone in the nation's journey towards energy security, accessibility, and affordability for all Nigerians. He adds that as a nation continues to take giant strides in the adoption of CNG, as a sustainable alternative to PMS and AGO, they are resolute to bring the benefits of CNG adoption closer to the Nigerian people. And to talk about this, I'm joined live by Temitope Kolade, Senior Manager and Lead ESG and Climate Change Services at Andersen. Good afternoon. Glad to have you join me.
Good afternoon, Adebola. Thanks for having me.
Let me start by asking, given the stated capacity of 3,700 cars and also 600 trucks per day, how does the NNPC plan to incentivize the conversion of fleets towards CNG usage to ensure the plants operate at full capacity?
Well, I would think that the costs alone should help to incentivize the conversion to CNG. But again, I would expect that the NNPC should do a lot more. According to the statements from the GMD of NNPC, the expectation is also that that sort of station that has been inaugurated in Lagos would be decentralized and will have them in the 6 geopolitical zones across Nigeria. And more importantly, the private sector investors would see reasons why they should also invest in this, and we'll begin to have the CNG stations across the nation. I think that way people will be incentivized because they will know that they could get these resources wherever they go across the country.
I know Lagos is top on the list when it comes to this plan, but for the country in general, looking at it in a broader perspective, what are the rollout plans for additional CNG stations across the country just to achieve this wider adoption and also fulfill the goals of President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda?
I think, again, if we go back to what the GMD of NNPC has said, it's quite clear that what they want to do is to get other stations across the country to begin to convert to have the means to supply CNG to would-be buyers. And so the expectation really is that if we democratize this, and we ensure that people are able to get it wherever they go, just like people get PMS, then we'll be an inch closer and maybe a lot closer to achieving the reality of transitioning to CNG for most users of PMS currently in Nigeria.
Now, the story mentions CNG as a sustainable alternative. Can you elaborate on the planned strategies to ensure the entire gas production and also distribution chain adheres to best environmental practices?
Okay, so apparently CNG inherently is less carbon emitting, right? So that's to tell us that there is very little that we need to combat with when it comes to issues around emissions from greenhouse gases. But the challenge could be in terms of production, right? You could then begin to have concerns around methane emission, which is part of what the industry standard should help look into. We have already the regulators within the industry, the NUPRC and the NMDPRA in particular. And their duty ordinarily is to ensure that when people do anything with respect to gas and oil altogether, they are doing it the right way and they're not allowing any leakage or any seepage whatsoever. So I would expect that if we have the regulators at the top of what they do, they will be able to deal with whatever the issues are that could result from the conversion. But again, I believe that generally we have less to combat with. when it comes to emission of gases or pollutants using the CNG option.
Now, while the focus seems to be on CNG, can you share insights on the autogas components of this new station and also potential impact on the Nigerian transportation system?
My expectation is that with respect to the Nigerian transportation system, that we should begin to have more affordable transport costs. Apparently, if you're able to get a liter of CNG for sub 200 naira, it's going to be a lot easier for those who use vehicles to transport people to charge less, because that's like the major input that goes into that business for them. So, I mean, generally, it will also mean that they have to convert their engines to CNG-powered engines, and the implication for that is that initially there could be some seeming cost, but over time, we expect that that cost will get neutralized and it will just be for the betterment of everyone within the industry. I think I missed a point on the very first question aside from the impact for the transportation sector.
Well, I was asking, you to share insights on the autogas components.
Okay, for the autogas component, really, again, I think it's to ensure that you could, I would imagine that the expectation is to have maybe a system that you could either use PMS or you could use gas, so we could be an hybrid solution, for instance. And so you could easily switch to gas, especially in the event that you're having challenges with getting a refuel station along your way. I would think that's what that is to achieve, really.
Thank you so much for your insight on the news, Temitope Kolade. Thank you once again.
Thanks for having me.